Hello and welcome to another Tidefall playthrough. It's been a little while, but we've made a huge amount of improvements and I'm so excited to show off just a few of those today. To any of you that have saw the game or played the game in our last playtest, I'm sure you can already notice some differences. We have animated backgrounds in to really increase that immersion. We've got amazing new soundtracks, sound effects depending on where you are, and every time we make updates to this game, we really want to take it to the next level, and immersion is one of the big key points that we're working on all the time. The game, of course, is also coming to a open alpha fairly soon, in the next month or so. If you're not on the Discord already, please do join. I'll announce the exact date there when we have one, and hopefully you'll all be able to jump in and join me playing this game as well. For now, let's look at this playthrough. This is essentially a fresh playthrough. I'm only a few prompts in. We're fresh off the beaches. We're into the tavern. I saw into Tabitha a little bit. Got down an ale, as one often does when they come into Tidefall. And now the goal is to head to an area I want to show off called Aldspar Mines. Now, I will warn you in advance. This area is dangerous. I don't recommend coming here unprepared. We are going unprepared. And my main goal is, can we get around this mine, show off some of the things in store for us in this mine, and survive. That's basically what I have. So let's move on. Right now we're in the Golden Pick Tavern. We have this tavern background. We're going to move towards the hills, and then from the hills to the mine. So let's head to the hills. So, of course, if you're not in the Discord already, please do join. That's where we're going to be posting all of our updates. We get dev notes, so you can not only see here what are updating, but there's a huge amount of things in the background on the back end which enhance the engine itself, the gameplay experience itself, which is obviously a little bit hard to show off in a video. So if you're interested in those patch notes to really get into what we're doing, do join and keep updated with us. And of course, the whole team is there. So if you want to speak to myself, some of the developers behind the scene, all of us would love to answer any of your questions. For now, we have entered the hills. Got that new background. We can see right now it's a little bit of a place of peace. We've got some wind in the background, and let's have a little read through. It seems like we've just walked out the tavern, moved to the hills as I've wanted. No danger rolling around as of this point. There are of course risks when you are moving around the world of Tidefall, depending on where you are. I do understand, after playing a lot myself, within the hills it's not too uncommon to run into packs of wolves around and such like that, but as of this moment it seems we're fine, so let's keep moving towards Aldspar Mine. And here we are, coming to Aldspar Mine. We've essentially moved through the hills, and these kind of transitions, when we're not running into any wolves or no one stopping us on our path, they're relatively simple. We will get often an example of just how far away these things are. Everything we're doing here is within the Ebstone region, so none of these travels are multi-day. We're talking a matter of a couple hours. Alongside the length of travel, the time of day will also change, and as mentioned here, we've arrived to the mines as twilight has come in. Not so much of a difference to us right now, as our plan is to head inside. Now, from the outside of these mines, I think you might already be starting to get a little idea of what might be in store for us. So, you know, we've got some soot, we've got some scarred stuff around the landscape. We can see almost some fires inside. I almost see this as a little bit of the fire mine, and as such, again, I do recommend, if you're coming here yourself, bring some preparations. Now, a bit of background as let's walk inside and as I talk through. A little bit of background about what I know about these mines is, of course, this is something that I have played through before. I've seen the writing, and everything in this game is human written. So we're not going to get surprised in terms of you know, the shape of the cave or what's in there. However, because of the way the game works, everything is different in terms of each time we play through. So I know there are traps in here, I know the mobs we might face, but what actually activates, how we move around it, how the mobs view us, that is all dependent on what we're doing. So whilst I do know some of the stuff that's supposed to happen, every time I go in here it is a little bit blind, and when I say my goal is to survive, I say that as someone who honestly doesn't know if that is going to be possible for me right here, even with my bit of background knowledge about this place. So we've come into this place, we've moved over some loose shale, we're starting to get a feel of that heat from under our boots, the faint red glow is pulsing, we've got oil in the air, smoke. This is not telling us it is such a friendly place, let's just say that much. To our left we've got some black liquid glimmering. I guess, knowing what's around and seeing there, this is probably some oil. We're at the top of the rail, one piece from a tripwire, which thankfully we have spotted, with the crawl space and triumph both within reach. So let's head deeper into the mines, taking care. So of course we do have to be wary, and this is something I fall short of as well, especially within these more dangerous locations when we know there's traps around. We need to make it clear that we're looking for these. There's been far too many moments I want to get ahead of myself and I've just said, well, okay, let's walk deeper into the mines, and you know what? You'll do that, but then you'll set up your tripwires or anything like that. So in these more dangerous areas, and as we see now we've come into the mines itself, definitely worth taking a moment to think about how your character is going to approach every situation. So we've come in, we've stepped over that wire, we're moving down, the heat is increasing. We are actually making contact with what is mentioned as a small red scaly creature with a burning tail. 5 more scarids on ledges around. They see us. Okay, a bit of background on here. It's mentioned scarids. This is a mob that, a creature really, you're going to see quite a lot throughout Tidefall. They come together in tribes, and there are a lot of different scarid tribes throughout this world, a lot in Ebstone. They're not all friendly with one another, but the creatures themselves, relatively small. We, playing right now, we are a half-orc barbarian, Growl. We're a very big guy here. These scarids, you know, they're probably half our height. So on an individual basis, scarids not too scary, provided we can hit them. However, the thing here which seems dangerous is, you know, the clay pot's ready. The spears, doesn't matter their size, it seems they can still do a lot of danger. So I think first things first, before we engage with any combat, let's gauge their threat. Potentially we can come in here, and honestly right now, whilst I am presenting no threat to them, in the back of my mind I do want to clear these guys out. I'll be honest, there's a bounty on a few of these. I wouldn't mind taking them down, but if I'm gonna take them down, it is gonna be with the essence of surprise, because, you know, as much as I said, I can take a couple of these guys if they're close range, but if they've got pots of oil in their hands and we've got fire all around, I'm not sure if I'm going to survive that. So I go into the chamber, hands open. Scars on the ledges pressed tight to the stone, eyes reflecting the firelight. No weapons move yet. Okay, they're definitely wary. We've got the heat coming up. Hello, hiss. There's no advance. Okay, they're wary, but as of yet, not attacking. And I'm just trying to think now. What's the best way to present us as not dangerous? In fact, maybe we can present ourselves as a friend. Scatter. Now, maybe what I'm planning here would be considered a war crime, but I also think it'll be very effective. So, I think we're really gonna just try, come in here, attempt to build some kind of relationship, if it's possible. Let them, you know, allow me to have a look around the place, work out where the traps are, get in position, and then so we take the bag out, everything we've got on us. So that's the bedroll, our water skin, our rations, onto the floor. Okay, they are not sold yet. Maybe we can back away. Maybe if we back away from the items. It's really... We're here in peace. I don't like to fight. Maybe I'm a half-orc barbarian. Sure. But your conception about me is wrong. I'm not a fighter. I'm a peaceful guy. Growl the peaceful guy. We take one step back. Okay, they're watching us. They're not sold. Okay, big thing is these rations. Maybe they like some food, and here we have the chieftain himself around. You're one stride from the cruel passive mouth behind you. Heat tensions. Okay, so we've entered into this room. We've put our stuff on the ground. We've avoided a fight. I can't say we've made a friend. Can't say we've made a friend at all. But we have managed to make it through this chamber. And now behind us, we have a cruel passage. So part of me is thinking, these people might never become friends. So we give up on that. But we just go deeper. And we can come back here from the lower angle. Maybe they don't expect that. So let's... Let's see if they'll let us through here. The worst case scenario, absolutely, would be for them to attack whilst I'm in a cruel passage. Oil, fire, growl, these things don't mix. I don't want these mixing, and as I said, I'm not prepared. Right now, we've dumped out everything we own. We have our axe, thankfully. Couldn't give them that. That's about all. Okay, they're shrieking, and they are following me. They are following me. Only blackness is scope that goes behind the chamber glows. Oof. I just realized. You know what I said earlier? And this is the thing. I can know that these mines are dangerous. I can know that there's fire, and I can know that traps are a thing here. And what I said earlier, I said, you know, it's not too bad. As long as you take your time, you mention that you're always looking for... Never forget. Don't forget that there's traps. It's been mentioned there's trap. Don't forget that. I forgot it. And thankfully I didn't get punished. It says at the end here, a trip line brushes your shin, unbroken for now. I forgot. We went into this cruel passage. I was so focused on these scarabs in front of us, I forgot about the traps. And if I died there, I would not have been happy. But a lifeline has come in. We've touched this and it's not broken. doing a lot here. We're having to take care of these these trip lines. Make sure I'm not triggering this one. Keeping my eyes on the scarabs. I need to know where they're coming, and I'm backing through this passage. I want to see if I can move into another chamber, get away from it, maybe. Okay, managed not to set the wire off. Scarabs are watching and moving. Ruleset's group running down. Nothing snaps. Ahead the cruel bends left, faint red glow bleeding around the turn. Let's follow this crawler along. Potentially, if these scarabs are just going to keep following us here, I'm thinking we get a little further away, and then take one out, or take the two that are following me out, and we just reduce their numbers. And if I'm fast enough, maybe they don't shriek. Maybe we can make it fast enough that the others don't realize. Let's see if we can do. Okay, so we found another trip cord here, but we've kept our eyes open. It's fine. There's enough slack in it. The main burn chamber is overlooked. Okay. I think now we slowly start itching towards these two scarabs. This might be our opportunity. Okay. They're still very worried about us. Are going for peace and friendship does not... I mean, I can't say it's not worked. They've not attacked, at very least, but they are still very tense. The leader is ahead of us here now. We've ended up in a little bit of a situation here. This is a bit of a stand-up. Maybe we need to use our words. I come in peace. What's a good reason for us being here that's peaceful? We can't tell them it's to collect their head for the bounty. That would not be peaceful. We could say, I'm only here to strike a deal. Maybe offer a trade. Yeah. I want to buy your traps. Let's have a look. That's fair enough. These guys seem like experts in the trap trade. So maybe that's enough. Okay, box a single shot syllable. No flame touches the trench yet. Its narrative is weighing offer against instinct. The chamber poised. Seems he was able to understand what I want. Okay. And this is where place my axe. arms stretched out, inviting him to come close and touch the axe. See if he falls for this one. Again, I'm not worried about what's it gonna be like when we're in one-on-one combat in close range. These guys are small. I'm worried about this chieftain telling the others to throw their stuff, the chieftain lighting me on fire. That's the stuff I'm worried about here. Lift the great axe, lay it horizontally against both palms, arms straight. That's exactly how I wanted it. They lock on the steel. It's coming towards me. Claws hovers inch. Trying to think now, because he's come close. Move back a little bit. I need him to be in range. I do know that in this situation, if I attack the chieftain, I still have the others that are likely to attack me. However, if we're able to kill this chieftain, kill their leader right in front of them, can we use that to just scare the others away? Right? Like, you know, just imagine that. These are all around, their chiefs there. Kill the leader. Maybe I hold his head up. I roar at them. This might be the way out, but it needs to be clean. If I attack him and it all goes bad. So I need to make sure this is right. So just outside an arm's length, about 6 feet away, it toes edge at the nearest oil trench. The axe rests between you. Okay. Okay. 6 feet. How are we going to cover this? My game plan is there. I am going to take a strike at the head of this chieftain. I can finish him in one blow for sure. I just need to get that blow. Now, how am I going to get 6 feet of distance? Okay, I've laughed because I've come up with... I mean, there's no way it'll work, but maybe it will work. Maybe it'll work. Okay. Point and look surprised at something behind the chieftain. When he looks away, dash at him. Axe in hand. And swing for the head. Please. There's no... I mean, it could work. You know, you think about the situation. He's there, I'm here. Oh, what's that? Pull the axe. Bang! Head's gone. I think this might be our only game plan. I can't think of... He's not going to come closer just by me inviting him again. He's obviously too wary about us. If we just rush at him, it's a risk. 6 feet, that's quite a lot of time. We do this. Come on. Come on. If we're thinking about this one. Joel would gaze over the chief's shoulder, widening your eyes. His ears twitch. It half turns. We launch forward, axe up. The chieftain snaps back. Too late! Steel bites his temple with a wet crack. It staggers, tails lashing, oil catches, fire racing along the groove. The chieftain sinks to one knee. Dazed but alive. Oh, we didn't kill him. One. Oh, we were so nearly there. It's what I'm chuffed that's worked out though. We've managed to connect with him, but we are also in a very dangerous situation now. We've got a chieftain heavily injured but alive. We have everyone else throwing clay pots filled with oil at us. I'm thinking, so right now, axe connected into its temple. I mean, this thing is... He must be on the edge of death here. He has to be on the edge of death. So whether we go for the finish... I've got it. I've got it. There's only one way to protect us. And it's not about running away, at least. Run. We can use the fact that he's alive. And he's dazed. He's heavily injured. Body shield. They're not going to attack their chieftain now, are they? Not when he's alive. Maybe if I killed him. Maybe if I killed him. Maybe this is actually our saving grace right here. He's alive. They're not going to attack him. Okay. We haul its limp body upright as a shield. Scarids on the rim shriek. Hesitate. One of hot arcs anyway. Shatters on the stone of your feet. Okay. That we can survive that. Burning oil across our boots. Pain lance up shins, but the chieftain twitching form stays raised. A barrier of scale and fear. The others back away, unwilling to risk their leader. Yes, that's right. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, as of this moment, I'm okay taking this as a win. If we can take this leader with us, get that bounty. There's a juicy 10 gold bounty on this leader's head. Get out of there. Not set off the traps. Got to remember that. I could have died on the way out, but we're not going to. I don't think. It would be a little hard to check for those traps, but okay. Back away. Leader in hand towards the That's it. Oh, please don't set off a trap. Scares. You reach the tunnel mouth, fast getting all limp behind the chamber glows. Claws scuttle overhead as Scares pace you through the dark. We're back at the entrance. They can't attack us. I think we're safe. I think we're safe. Out of the mines to the hills. Let's see if this will let us out. Alright. We shove the half. I mean, the captain is pretty much knocked out. Are you kidding me? We've smashed against his temple. Each step scoured overhead, back by the Leaders, wheezing breaths, the tunnel, malfunctions, night air. Of course, we went in twilight. It's now nighttime. We emerge. We're out. We're out. Now, we do have to be wary. We have some howls in the hills. These were, well, obviously the wolves I was mentioning earlier that are around, but... Okay. I think I'm going to call that a great success. Honestly. I wasn't sure if I would get out alive. In fact, I nearly died multiple times to these traps because I completely forgot about them, even knowing that this is a place of traps. And also the chieftain not dying to our attack probably actually saved our lives. So, look, thank you so much for watching. This has just been a small part of the game. This is just Aldspar mine, and even within the mine, there's a whole lot more. We got other levels. We got a lot more things to interact with, and again, this is just a small piece of the Epsilon region, and we've got other regions coming. By the time that you'll all be jumping in the next month, we'll have multiple regions unlocked to go and have a look around, all with their own art style, backgrounds, music, sounds, and there's just so much exciting. So, once more, if you haven't already, please do join our Discord. You can find me there, the link's down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Teddy, and I will see you in the next playthrough. Thanks, everyone.